New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you want to know the secrets of a life, it's free. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Hello. Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. The abridged version. I am Robyn Homestead.
I'm Dr. Natasha Wilson, coming to you from sunny, beautiful Queensland, Australia.
And I'm coming to you from a little bit hazy, but sunny with an ocean, California. So,
Yes.
Carlsbad, California. All right. So I'm go ahead, take it away, because
we're just running a bit late, but I already pulled our card for the day.
Okay.
And we know that we are going to be introducing the 4 agreements and sort of running through what they are on the surface, the history of them, and then how we plan to engage them over the next 4 weeks. But for now, if you haven't already, please like us. Please share this stream. Please do all the social media things that support this algorithm that moves our voices into the internet. Yeah.
And make sure you put in your calendar that for the next 4 weeks, we're going to be exploring the 4 agreements. And You're going to want to be here because we're going to have guests and all kinds of fun things. So the next 4 Wednesdays.
And here's the book that we will be working with. Very thin, very approachable, I think wonderful.
Very audible if you're on Audible.
Yes. Absolutely.
So all kinds of possibilities. So do tell. What, pray tell, does your card hold for us today?
So I pulled a card, and the card I pulled was this one.
Feel? What does it say?
Feel.
Okay.
Feel. Feel. And I'm just going to go ahead and read a little bit from the guidebook about this particular card because I thought it was really profound. Okay. So what it says here is, a sunny day can be a beautiful thing, but if every day were sunny, you would begin to miss the soul-shaking rumble of thunder and the heart-cleansing catharsis of pounding rain. Likewise, valuing happiness above all other emotions will unfailingly begin to feel shallow and still. In truth, all emotions are equally valuable and vital. Do not fear your sadness, anger, vulnerability, or rage. Instead, fear the inert emptiness and physical dis-ease that result from turning away from your feelings or refusing to acknowledge their presence or their depth. At times, it may seem that feeling your feelings could annihilate or overwhelm you. This is never true. It is simply your ego protecting itself. In reality, As long as you don't judge or resist your feelings, they will bring you clarity, connect you to your inspiration, and crack open the fullness of your joy. Other times, it may seem that your feelings are missing, hiding, or otherwise out of reach. If you can't remember the last time you cried from the depth of your being or laughed so much that tears ran down your face, it's a sure sign that you need to do some soul searching and discover what your heart is yearning to communicate. Your emotions are the wellspring at the heart of your being. Whether defined by others as positive or negative, it is when emotions are flowing that you will remember joy and experience joy. Remember, joy is not a synonym for happiness. Joy is flowing emotional. Grief or laughter, pain or pleasure, heartbreak or euphoria. When you look closely at the nature of every emotion, you will find its true identity is always love. When you rage at injustices, why do you rage? Because you feel love for those you believe have been mistreated. When you suffer after a breakup, why does heartache? Why does your heart ache? Because you remember love or yearn for love. When you cry at the loss of a friend or animal companion, why do you cry? Because you feel transcendent love, love that goes beyond this physical realm and embraces eternity. If you shrink or deny the pain of love, you will also cut yourself off from the pleasures of love. When you practice opening your heart again and again, no matter what emotion washes through you, you will begin to find that all genuine feeling is pleasurable in the sense that it is release, a freedom to flow with what is true for you in the moment. The key is to let down your defenses and breathe into everything you feel.
All right. That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
So if you have feelings about that card and you're out there and you want to share what it means to you, please put it in the chat. We'd love to hear it. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just processing that because I feel like like when it said if you haven't cried and at the depths of your soul or whatever, or laughed till you cried. I I laugh till I cry a lot. But I don't cry that much anymore. Like I used to cry a lot more, and I don't. And so I'm thinking about that because like sometimes when I don't cry, I'm thinking, why didn't you cry? What's wrong? What's wrong with you? Why aren't you feeling that? Or why? But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think it's a bad thing. I mean, I'm aware of it. It's not like I'm trying to cover something up. I just think I feel it differently now. It's just not,
Hmm.
generally for me, when I cried as a teenager or a younger adult, I think a lot of it had to do with like not only like the quote unquote loss of whatever it was or the sadness around it, but also there was a part of not knowing what I was gonna do or what was gonna happen. And now I feel like I don't need to know what's gonna happen. I feel like it's gonna be okay. So it doesn't bring me to a place of tears. And I'm not even really sure I feel what I'm saying, but that's just what's coming up on the heels of what you read.
Okay. Well, sister, I cry all the time. I don't know a day that goes by that I probably don't cry. And like my my crying is not always about sadness. Like, I sat in contemplation yesterday morning and ended up writing this poem after my contemplative sitting, because what came to me was like, wow, when I think about my closest, most intimate female relationships, the people that have held me in my most vulnerable times in this life, it was like, wow, they've all been Jewish, white Jewish women. And I remember one of my friends who I ended up writing this poem about. She said to me, and she was talking about my academic work at the time. She was saying it's a bridge. But then she said to me, I'm a bridge. Like, I am a bridge across worlds of difference. And the poem that sort of flowed really helped me understand why, or perhaps, I don't know, maybe I don't need a why, but really helped to get to the heart of why I've had my closest intimate female relationships have been with Jewish women. And it is because they know diaspora, they know displacement, they know the yearning for home, they know the work of grief and the value of that work. And I cried. I was at the end of my meditation, and there I was on a cushion writing this poem, crying. So, and at the end of the crying, it felt like a release. So I cry a lot. And
good.
my crying is not always about, rarely it's about sadness these days. So my crying is so much is about remembering who I am, even the decision that I made to refer to myself and my own writing as beloved, sitting with that in my spiritual contemplative time, letting me hear myself call myself beloved, also had me crying. So I cry a lot. I have no issue. I cried last week, if you remember. Like,
I think crying is good. I mean, to me, crying's like rain. It like cleanses the playing field, the system. I just don't do it a lot, but I think I'm all for it. I am all for it. Yeah, but I think feeling. I think just getting back to the card, the main essence of the card. I think it's really. What's coming up is I want to say a delicate art, and to allow yourself the truth of feeling and really being with those emotions and being present for all of that. So.
Look, the truth is, as a species, Homo sapiens sapiens, okay, here comes my anthropologist, and I'm an anthropologist, okay, that's my PhD. And also here comes a psychotherapist. We are one of the most emotionally, I don't know if we are the most emotionally complex species. I don't think I believe that anymore. Not after studying the life of whales and dolphins and bonobos. But we are certainly one of the most emotionally complex species. And what we have that those other species don't is speech. They have communication, and they can communicate. What we have is the power of speech. And so I don't think it's that confusing as to why we live in a world where we as human beings, we decide to teach our children reading, writing, arithmetic, science, but rarely, unless your child goes to like a Montessori,
Right.
Role of emotional intelligence, right? There is not like one emotion, like in this notion that we need to just feel like this particular set of emotions all the time, but there is intelligence in all the emotions. From guilt, like guilt is an important emotion. It can be productive guilt or toxic guilt. And teaching our children the difference between the two is incredible, right? So, like toxic guilt, you've not done anything to harm anyone. Toxic guilt is about living out someone else's ideas of what you were supposed to do.
Mhm.
Productive guilt, you've actually caused some harm. And feeling guilty can be helpful to support you in thinking about how to do things differently in the future. I cannot think of one emotion that we have as Homo sapiens that does not have a blessing attached to it. And so feelings, emotions, they matter, not to get stuck in any of them, but to let them move through us like the ocean, like a wave. So I personally really love this card. And what I would say, Robyn, given what you said about rain, the card that follows after this one, the card, I didn't pull this one, but that card is called Summon the Rain.
Yeah, well, and just in regards to what you were saying about feelings and how important they are, and what we learn and how productive they are. I mean, that's what I'm working with now with a group of kids that we work with from attachment healing, recovery kind of stuff. And the difference, I mean, the important thing there is the difference between our thoughts and our feelings. And that's a whole show.
Yeah. I mean, if we were to couch what you just said in clinical language, that would be what we call like CBT. So cognitive behavioral therapy. So really looking at that connection between what we think and how we feel. And often our feelings emerge or are activated because of something we're thinking.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But even before you get to that, to the technical, just realizing, like, as a young person, if I have a thought like that I'm ugly and I'm never going to amount to anything, can they differentiate between that and a feeling, the feeling it brings up? I think we do that as adults. We get stuck in our story and think that that's the feeling place.
Yeah. The thing is, here's what I've come to understand about the nature of feeling. Because thought moves really fast, but feelings have this tendency to linger. So sometimes through feeling, we can reconnect to the thought, right? Because the thought has probably already like moved on or is moving, but the feelings tend to linger. So if I had this thought that like I'm ugly, which then creates feelings that might be connected to a lack of belonging, a lack of lovability, those feelings can help me identify the thought, and I can address the thought. I can sort of correct the thought. I can't necessarily get rid of it because that's not how the psyche works. We can't just be like, oh, let it go. Psyche doesn't work that way. If I could just let shit go, oh, my life would be so different, right? So we can't just let it go. But what we can do is engage the distorted thought. So, of course, you're lovable. Of course, whatever your looks are, they're yours and they're unique and divine. So how can we place those thoughts in? And what I've noticed that happens when I'm engaging, whether it's CBT or DBT, is the old thought that creates these feelings that are less than wonderful, that old thought over time atrophies when we start to practice the new thought, which is why I love that we are new thought. That's what we do. New thought.
It is what we do. All right. So this is, again, this could be a whole show. We could put it on the list of show things, thoughts and feelings. But for now, we only have about another 20 minutes. So are we taking a short break?
I think we should take a short break, and then we can come back and talk about the plan for the next few weeks.
Okay.
Regarding our
4 agreements. All right. So you want to know about what's coming up next, or the 4 agreements. We're going to start next week, and we're going to tell you all about that. And I'm giving my producer time to get ready. So we're going to go to a short break, and we'll be right back, and we'll talk about the 4 agreements. So come right back here to New Thought Media Network. See ya.
New Thought.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center, Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are 2 girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you want to know the secrets of a life that's free, listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Hello, we are back. We are back. And I'm still Robyn.
I'm still Natasha, last I checked.
Okay, and that's who we are. We are Girls Behaving Metaphysically. So we are here today talking about a couple of things, but right now we're about to talk about the exciting stuff coming up over the next 4 weeks. So Natasha had the idea to work through the 4 agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And so we have invited guests, one who's probably out there incognito waiting for me to respond to his email. Sorry, it's been a busy week. We didn't check in about our weeks, but I'm in California, which makes it a busy week. So much is going on. So I will respond to Dr. Raymond, who I would love to be here on, I think I think it's the final week. I have to look, but I thought he would be great for that week. We have 4 weeks coming up. And for those of you who don't know the book, you should get it. It's really great. And as Natasha alluded to a little earlier, it's not a big book. It's not a heavy reading book. It's a book about by Don Miguel Ruiz, introducing like the Toltec civilization and describing the, his lineage of the spiritual masters and seekers of truth and the important values. Would you say that's true?
I would. I think also what he does in the book is also talk about not just a history, but how these principles have been spiritual guides.
Yes.
For thousands of years. And what I love about them is that they deeply and so beautifully dovetail with the principles of New Thought, right?
Absolutely.
The very first one to the fourth one. And you didn't mention there's a fifth one, but we're not going to deal with that yet, right? Just these four, they dovetail so beautifully with the perspectives and the principles of New Thought, how we think about ourselves, how we speak about ourselves, how we speak about the world, how we think about the world, and the profound impact that has on our experience of what we call reality.
Yes. Yeah, it's really it's a very powerful book, but yet it's gentle at the same time.
That's right.
And it really just, as you said, talks about that's the thing with New Thought. Of course, it dovetails with New Thought because New Thought is ancient wisdom. There's nothing new about it. It's ancient wisdom and things that have been passed down through generations. So it does all of that, and I love when he talks about, like, in the beginning, just how he explains how humans are domesticated from childhood and conditioned by societal rules and expectations and fear, and as you said, which leads them all to limiting beliefs or emotional suffering or whatever beliefs they hold. And so we're going to explore those, and we're going to take them in bite-sized pieces. So the first week is be impeccable with your word. Discussing that next week. Be impeccable with your word, where our guest will be Dr. Cynthia Ambrose. And this show will be able to just delve into what that means to be impeccable with your word. Avoid the judgments or using gossip or just being aware and alert as to what your word creates.
That's right. That whole principle of being impeccable with your word. I guide clients through this, and we sometimes use it as a framework to develop a shared language. And so a lot of people think, being impeccable with my word just means doing what I say I'm going to do, right? Following through on what I say. And yet, from a Toltec perspective, being impeccable with your word means understanding the magic and power of your word. And so to be impeccable means to never use the word against yourself. Yeah, that's what they mean. So, as I even continue to practice this, I think I was telling you, I wrote this poem to my friends, some of my closest friends. And what I realized while I was doing my contemplative work and writing that poem is that I've gotten into the habit of referring to myself as beloved. Mm-hmm. And referring to myself that way puts me in alignment with this first agreement.
Mm.
I use the word for myself. I use the power. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, right?
Yeah.
So we use the power of the Word. Well, the way they talk about it in the book, or he talks about it in the book from the Toltec perspective, is the Word is magic. The Word has the power to create entire realities. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward into delving into that so much.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm.
The second week is don't take anything personally. And that is personally my favorite. Simply because I think that's where I have the most work to do.
Mm.
Because it's a big thing for me not to take it personally, because I'm an empathic person and I take everything personally. So
maybe we'll spend 2 weeks on that one.
Maybe, who knows? I'm much better at it now, but I mean, it's really realizing it. I mean, following that, being impeccable with your word, really realizing for me that nothing anyone else does is because of me. Nothing. That's like a huge lesson, because what they say and what they do is a reflection of their own reality.
That's right.
This agreement, it frees you from that weight of heavy suffering, or thinking it's your fault, or thinking you can change it, or any of that, or thinking you can help in a different way. So that's week 2.
Yeah. As you say that, it also makes me think about how when we are out of alignment in terms of that one, taking things personally, it automatically kind of puts us out of alignment with the first agreement, right?
Yeah.
So if we are believing that someone's behavior that might be less than wonderful is about us, so now we're using the power of the word as thought against ourselves.
Right.
So that's why the Toltec wisdom always says the most important agreement, if you master anything, it's the first one, because it always go back to the first one all the time.
Right.
All the time.
All right. We got 2 more to get through in a very short time. So the week 3, we will be talking about don't make assumptions.
Yep.
Make assumptions.
That's hard too.
That's hard too. Clear communication is what prevents misunderstanding and drama and all that to happen. And if we can say what we really want or need, or ask questions if we don't understand, that's the biggest one for me, is like, when I think somebody's saying something because they're mad at me or they're blah, blah, blah. And then I just assume that, instead of asking questions like, wait, what do you mean by that? Or are you mad? Or, whatever. So asking questions and expressing what you really want, not making assumptions.
Yes. And I'll just quickly say, because we're not perfect at this, but if we stay in alignment with that very first agreement, which the Toltec wisdom master said is the most important of all of them. So if you're going to make an assumption in your favor. Make an assumption that rises your heart. Yeah. Make an assumption for you as opposed to against you.
So you're saying, like, make an affirmation, make a prediction, make a declaration.
Yeah. Right. So if you're making an assumption like, oh, this person is mad because I was horrible, whatever, right? We can turn that around just by tapping back into the first agreement and just saying that whatever this person is feeling, they have a right to feel, and it is not about me, not taking it personally. And I I hold the reality that I am the beloved of the universe, of the divine. And I can ask questions about things.
Yeah.
All right.
And finally, the last week, well, before we go to the fifth agreement, but we're not talking about that yet. The last week on 4 is always do your best.
That's right. That's right.
And again, just in alignment with everything that Natasha has said and that I've said, it's that place of doing your best. And if you're always doing your best, then you avoid that self-judgment. You avoid that regret. You avoid that space of the other possibilities. And being aware that your best can change from moment to moment.
That's right.
It doesn't look a certain way. Allowing that space for your best to morph and to grow with you.
Yeah. You know, I also think about like something I remember Oprah Winfrey saying, right? It's like when we're doing our best, because she had this author on her show and they did a whole thing around it. But I remember this piece around, you know, like we do all that we can do from the limited purview of our ego, right? In terms of doing our best. And then there comes a place where we release to something greater. We release to the divine in us, through us, and as us, and that we are in. And when we do that, that is a whole nother layer of doing our best. So we do all the things we can do, and then we release to something greater.
Right.
So much. I'm so looking forward to the next few weeks.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun. So tell your friends, grab your book. You know, we'd love to hear you share your stories and your examples as well, or something from the book that's moved you, if there's a quote or something that was said. And, you know, we'll see what unfolds by next week. I'm sure by then we'll have some practical challenge that will give you to go out and come back and share your wealth of information that you've received. So,
I already have a challenge for the first week. I'm just gonna let you know.
Okay, there you go. So go get the book, go get the audio, go do something that pertains to this. Look it up on the internet. You can find plenty of stuff about it. And join us next week. We will be pre-recorded, but we will be here, and you should be too. And please share your thoughts and things, and we'll answer you back.
Yeah,
by the power vested in us and the internet, we can do all that. So that's it. I think that's it for today. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you to our producer, Michael Mangus, who keeps us together in spite of ourselves. And thank you to New Thought Media Network. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Peace and blessings.
Okay. Peace.